Hi guys, good morning everybody. Watch the recap today. Today I had a started day really bad. I opened up, the market was gapping up, and I was short Tesla, and I was negative on them, and then I started trading Tesla. It was a really heavy loss, and as you see, there's a lot of trades happened, and eventually I pulled out of that mess that I had on Tesla. But the days like these, when you have so many tickers, trading so many tickers, usually are the days that you're gonna have some serious losses. So in this case, like Avi, one of our buddies, really close friend of me, he lives in Dubai. He posted this yesterday on July 11th that he had a $10,000 loss. And one thing that you can see is that there's so many tickers, like Tesla long, short, Rivian long and short, NVDA long, Meta short, Carvana, Amazon long and short, and NVDA calls and Tesla calls. So one thing that you can see is obviously when things go wrong in a day, you start trading so many tickers up and down, like up and short and long, and usually these are the recipe for the days that we call them Hulk days, and you can really lose control of them. And you got to be very careful of these days. When you start really wrestling with one ticker, like here in this case Tesla or Rivian or Carvana or Amazon, you got to be really careful that these are the days that you might really blow up your account. So you should definitely have some sort of a loss, stop loss in your mind. So these are the things that I wanted to mention that is very important to remember. And today really kind of started like that for me. Like today inflation number was soft, the market was popping up. I was short Tesla, I was up 2.5%. I mean, I was in bed and I checked and said, damn, I'm gonna get a squeeze. And I was short Tesla calls. As soon as they opened, I sold them. Really I got lucky because it continued going lower, but I got I just covered them immediately for these two losses. So this one and also this one, small losses, but still, I didn't know that. So when you're short options, your risk to reward is asymmetric. Your reward is fixed for the amount of premium that you're collecting, but your risk can be unlimited. That's why it can be very dangerous. And I started trading to catch a reversal on Tesla here, sold off. I tried to catch a reversal. It was very difficult trading, very difficult. Went up and then suddenly dropped. I got stopped out and went again long, and it did drop. It was very crazy trading at between 940 to 950. I took another one long on it that came up around 274. I got out of it. It did eventually bounce back all the way to the VWAP, but as a double bottom or triple bottom was very difficult to see because of these weeks. Very difficult to trade. So essentially I messed up on it and have a serious loss on that. And then AMD was really the trade of the day. It was a little bit difficult at the open, but eventually got something. I went long for the break of high of the day. It did go up, came down. I got stopped out of the break even. It came back up. I went long again here for the break of 114. It did drop on me at the VWAP, and I got to stop that. As soon as it came back up, I went long again for the third time. And again, you're getting really into that issue that I told you, start over trading. So that's one trade, break even, one loss, and then that last one really worked out and went up, and I knew it's gonna go break up 115. I added just below the 115, and as you see here, all the way up to 115.29, which was the daily level, and then I got to stop that at the break even. I think eventually it went that was a really good trade on this. So eventually I made all the losses back with some on this move, and on a daily chart 115.29, it's essentially this day level. So as I look at it, I had some choppy days, but eventually this was the day that I was thinking that could be potentially as some sort of a bounce here, and I did exactly bounce back from that area. So AMD was that. So what else do I have here? So yeah, I still have the JP. I sold some NVDA calls at 460. Let's go through NVDA actually. So NVDA is near all-time high. So it's up 3% and it's moving up. The all-time high is at 439, near 440 here. So had a really nice run up. and I shorted NVDA actually with Thor in the chat room. So I shorted as this double top here. You put a stop loss just at the high of the day, came down all the way up to 437. I covered some position, came back up. I got a stop out at the break even, and now it continues going lower. So because if you look at the 5-minute chart, it looks like it really doesn't have enough momentum to go up much higher. And I shorted 460 because I think that is a couple of standard deviation higher. So 460 is essentially here, and I said that it's very unlikely by in a day and a half is going to go up to 460. So I covered that, but I'm probably going to cover this NVDA by the end of today because I don't want to get exposure on that. Yeah, so that's my trading day. So what did I do? Oh, Amazon was also another trade that we did. Let me actually bring the level 2 signals. I want to actually show you a couple of level 2 signals that we did. Like Amazon was the fun at the open. So the moment that I went long on Amazon, I saw a huge ask at 131. So that's why 1 minute open range breakup. This one is a little bit weaky. So we got to be careful on that, but I went long because I saw this huge ask at 131 and I was hoping that it's going to break the 131, and it did break the 131, and I sold some right at the 131, but it really quickly rejected that one, and that's just the nature of this first few minutes. Is very volatile. So I did got out here at 131, it quickly dropped out, and I got a stopped out on it because my rule of thumb is that I have to bring my stop loss at the break even. Overall, I really didn't do a good trade because I was chasing it. This is just too much of a stop loss. And this week was also a question mark on a 1 minute. You really don't want to. You want to stay away from the 1 minute open range breakout that has such a huge week. As you see, it did break the 131 after a few seconds, so went 131.11. But after that, unfortunately, I dropped that on this. AMD, also the trades that I did was also based on level 2. So as I mentioned, this was a trade that I got stopped out. And then, I chased it again here. I got stopped out because we had a huge ask at 114. So that was the sign that I really wanted. And the reason that I went back here on this at 113.60 was actually we saw this huge ask. And I knew that it's going to break out now after third times. And it did break. And as you see here, we did break, in the matter of seconds, popped up to above to 114. So level 2 can help you a lot, even though, for example, I got stopped out a couple of times. Level 2 really does help you a lot. So that was something that I should mention that. So yeah, NVIDIA is going down. I wish that I was still an NVIDIA short, but what we can do is actually not bad. So here what we can do here, no problem. So let me see, NVDA, yeah, so that's my position here on NVDA short. I'm actually gonna cover that. That's here. So I shorted here at 68.7, is now down to 37. I'm gonna actually cover that 10 contract. So you're gonna see that 10 contract is gonna go through time and sells the volume here. So it's gonna go to press buy. There you go. So that's just got filled, 4 cents and done. So $260. So I got covered that. This is probably gonna go to 0, but I just covered it here. Okay, so that was my trading day. Brian, I know you had a really good day, huh?
Oh, my day was pretty good. I had I had this opening trade, this RXRX, which was a biotech that there was an announcement they got 50 million from NVIDIA. And I could tell it was going to be weak at the open. I kind of traded it like a what I call a lead balloon trade. So took a short. I actually got short in the pre-market because it just looked so weak, and it just started to sell off. So I got a really nice drop on that. I really left a lot on the table, unfortunately, because it dropped, kept dropping. But anyway, that was my I could have called it a one and done trade. Also traded Roku, and I'm still short some 80 calls for the end of the week, and I'll probably just hold those as a swing trade. So Roku's had a really big run up and looking a little toppy here. So yeah, so overall it was a fairly decent day. Yeah.
Yeah, it's It's the days like the inflation numbers day, the gap up and gap down sometimes makes it very difficult to trade because most of the move has already happened through the pre-market gap, and then you might get choppy. Overall today, especially on AMD, we got a very very nice run. This was a very, I'm so proud of this trade. Perfect. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Thor did a very nice presentation yesterday on how to enter the trade, about the trade entry. So as you know, sometimes you know exactly what is happening, but you don't know exactly when to pull the trigger. Having a trade book is, you have it, but you don't know exactly when to enter the trade. So Thor did a really nice presentation, and that webinar is actually uploaded into the education center. And so New York City guys, Mike Bellafiore is going to talk about the scalping, the way that they do in their prop firm. It's called Bella Scalp. He's going to give that presentation. So New York City, he's coming on Monday to give us a presentation. That is amazing. And I announced all the NYSE tour guys, and the people who are selected they got that email. Some people cannot make it in that time, so we might have a few more spots left open, so we're gonna email a couple of new people this week to confirm, because so there are some people that they cannot attend in that time. Awesome, guys, have a good day, and all the best. It was a pretty good day. Eventually I covered those NVDA shorts, so at the end of the day 2300 for me. It was a messy day. Thanks, guys. Ciao.